portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
The Bahamas Hotel Association launched its Caribbean Hotel Energy Efficiency Action Project, or CHENACT, today.
CHENACT is expected to improve the competitiveness of small and medium-sized hotels by promoting improved energy use. Undersecretary of the Ministry of Tourism Charles Albury noted that the initiative is particularly important to ensure that hotels retain their competitive edge.
We must remain competitive in an industry that is seeing more and more competitors enter the market who are very shrewd in the products they provide and how they provide them. When combined with the fact that many hotels elsewhere are paying half what Bahamian-based resorts are paying for their energy costs, it is painfully obvious that there must be no further delay in addressing the cost of energy and the use of energy alternatives. CHENACT is being financed by the IDB, GIZ, CDE, UNEP, the government, and the Bahamas Hotel Association. Well, also on hand for the occasion was country representative for the Inter-American Development Bank, Astrid Winter. She noted that energy-efficient initiatives are a priority for the IDB.
25% of the lending in the period 2010-2015 must be dedicated to sustainable energy, and that covers the gamut from energy efficiency, renewables, waste energy. So it's a huge commitment, and so CHENACT is a small project right now in the Bahamas, but I think it's extremely important to recognize that it's emblematic. It's sort of, in a way that Barbados was too and is, this is sort of a model project for other countries.
Now, since coming to office, the Christie administration has been working to implement recommendations to improve industrial relations in the country. In fact, Labor Minister Shane Gibson says amendments have already been made to the Industrial Relations Act. One of those amendments includes transferring the responsibility for the registration of industrial agreements from the Industrial Tribunal to the Registrar of Trade Unions.
There was a process in place in law where the employer could actually apply for revocation. And that is if the employees decided they wanted to be unionized, they went through the process, got the recognition, became registered, and then at some point in time, the employer could actually apply to the Department and the Minister of Labor and ask for the unions to be recognition to be revoked, which of course really made no sense. Because what most employers would do is just stall the process, drag out the negotiations process, and then apply to the ministry, said we now apply for this union to be revoked because they're not representing the members properly, they have no industrial agreement in place. But of course it was them who delayed the entire process. So in both cases we have already amended the law, and of course that should add for better protection for workers' rights and unions throughout the country.
Now, Minister Gibson says they're now developing a program where once a labor certificate is granted, there's a transfer of knowledge and Bahamians are identified as understudies. While addressing members of the Rotary Club of Western Nassau this afternoon on government's plans to improve labor relations with unions, Minister Gibson said there's also a need to expand the labor inspectorate. And with thousands of work permits granted each year, Minister Gibson admits very little to no inspections are done.
What we're doing more now is we're actually sending labor inspectors into the field and investigating individual applications to make sure that what they put on paper is actually what is happening in the organization. What we found is that individuals would apply for a labor certificate for somebody who they claim we don't have a Bahamian qualified to do the job. They would bring them in, have no understudy identified, have no program designed where they could have a transfer of knowledge. And you would find that 5-10 years go by and that individual is still in the Bahamas on a work permit.
Tirade of the Heart. It's a new book about healing, and it's about to be released by Bahamian author Beaumont Todd. The book of poetry chronicles Todd's life from high school straight up to present day with the recent birth of his son. But what makes Todd's story so much more interesting is the fact that he's decided to donate all the proceeds from the book to the Children's Emergency Hostel and the Crisis Center. It's an amazing commitment, especially considering it's the first book Todd has published. But while his intentions are great, he's hoping for overwhelming support from the public, considering it's for a good cause.
It's a book that persons can relate to in their own individual lives, especially if they've been through hurtful and traumatic experiences that have left scars on their heart and mind. And through my poetry, I've learned to heal as well as deal with a lot of those same issues that we sometimes as a nation and as individuals just ignore.
Now, Todd is hosting a book launch fundraiser at the National Art Gallery this Saturday at 7. Tickets are $20 in advance and $25 at the door. Again, all the proceeds, including ticket sales and book sales, will go to the Children's Emergency Hostel and the Crisis Center. Two institutions that work towards helping individuals and groups and families to actually deal with a lot of trauma and hurt that's actually going on in our country right now. But they're also proactive institutions that try to educate persons on having healthy relationships that start with themselves and with others. At the moment, I'm a newly crisis center volunteer, and it works dearly to my heart because this year I feel, as it being our 40th anniversary, God is really impressing on us as a nation that we need to start rebuilding. We need to start dealing with the hurtful things that are affecting so many of our citizens, and we can't sweep it under the rug any longer. We need to deal with these issues outright if we want to actually grow and progress as a nation.
Staff of the Social Services Department nationwide assembled at the Calvary Bible Church Auditorium on Collins Avenue today to participate in the 4th annual motivational seminar under the theme Moving Forward, Upward, Onward Together. The event provided the opportunity to boost staff morale at the start of the year, a time when Bahamians tend to need more assistance from the department. Director of Social Services Melanie Zonical believes the motivational seminar is essential to the future progress of social services.
Since the economic downturn, we've seen our clientele increase significantly in our areas that we provide food assistance and other household assistance to our clients. We've also seen an increase in our children's facilities. And so whether you are a trained social worker, a childminder, or a support staff, we all must pull our weight together to ensure that our clients get the best results from us.
Now, offering words of spiritual encouragement to the social services staff was Reverend Eric Josie of the Church of God Temple in Coconut Grove.
So we want to address them basically on the thought of togetherness. We would, of course, touch on the other parts of the topic, but togetherness, the fact that we are one, irrespective of where we work and who we are, color of our skins. The fact that we are one and the importance of us being together.
Still to come, find out why the QC Comets have a big red reason to celebrate. It might have something to do with the first-time championship.
And the police K-9 units help Mangrove Key High sniff out careers. Find out how coming up. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.